You know, we get to a point in our lives where we have to mature. You know, because from the time we're little kids, we're always blaming the outside. My brother made me do this. My sister made me do that. My school teacher made me do this. My friends made me do that. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. It wasn't my idea. And we start to create these patterns that always take us into the same place. We keep doing the same things over and over and over. We change the characters in the play, but it still keeps repeating. I don't know if you've noticed, you keep repeating the same things. And then you get to a point in your life where you start to think, I can't keep doing this. And you start to think, well, maybe it has something to do with me. Because I changed countries, I changed partners, I changed jobs, I changed my look, I changed everything, but I'm still having the same experience. And when you get to that point, you're ready to take responsibility. So you start to go in and you start to see these patterns that are affecting you, that take you constantly into the place of the victim. You create something externally, you have a reaction, and you become a victim. And then you create a drama. And you start to see it. And it's often very strong, the pattern, no? It's very robotic and reactive and quick. It either takes you to fight or it takes you to feel miserable. This is how it works. And you start to be present and you start to witness yourself from a place of consciousness. At the same time you're cultivating consciousness. But you start to see the complexity of your patterns, of your programs, of your dramas, and you start to heal. Now, you created all of this when you were this big. It starts from here. That's why it's so hard to see it. The only way to see it is to go very deep. And once you start to find everything, you start to move the anguish, move the sadness, move the hooks that always take you into the same feeling, and you start to offer it back to consciousness. So in each moment, you start choosing your response. And this is responsibility. This is consciousness. I am responsible for how I'm being. I am responsible for what is transpiring in my world. The only person I can change is myself. My reactions, my responses, me. That is absolute responsibility. Who do I choose to be in this moment? I speak my truth and I let go. And the next moment comes and I choose for the joy. What transpires in between? I choose to let go. Not to fight for a position. Not to be right. But to be happy. And you get challenged.
Y vas a tener desafíos.
There'll be injustice.
Vas a ver injusticias.
There'll be corruption.
Corrupción.
There'll be blind aspects you can't see.
Va a haber puntos ciegos que no hay modo de ver.
You keep creating the same thing.
Vas a seguir creando las mismas cosas.
But at some point,
pero en algún momento,
you will always choose for consciousness.
vas siempre a elegir la conciencia.
And that's full
Y
responsibility.
esa es responsabilidad completa.
I'm that, I'm that, I'm that, I'm that, I'm that, I'm that.
Yo soy eso.
I am that.
Yo
I
soy
am responsible.
Eso. Yo soy responsable.
Hola, Isha.
Hi, Isha.
Desde que empecé a hacer el sistema,
Since I started with the system,
como que me gusta más estar sola.
I love more to be by myself. That is the contrary of what it was before.
Y lo siento y eso va como creciendo.
And I feel it, and that goes growing. To be by myself and feel well by myself. And suddenly,
Oh my God.
the sensation comes. Oh my God, I'm a hermit now.
Que lo que es ese sentimiento,
Can you tell what that feeling is? If that is going to disappear,
porque de repente aparece,
or why it suddenly shows up?
You know, it's when we start healing,
Cuando empezamos a sanar,
firstly we discover ourselves.
primero nos empezamos a descubrir a nosotros mismos.
And we start to
Y
realize
empezamos a darnos cuenta
that being with
que
ourselves
estar con nosotros mismos
isn't so
no
bad.
es tan malo.
In fact, you start to enjoy it.
De hecho, uno empieza a disfrutarlo.
And this is a great
Y
thing,
eso es algo
because
grandioso.
that means there's a
Porque
place
eso significa hay un lugar
where you're starting to love
en
you
el que empiezas a amarte a ti
and value yourself.
y a valorarte a ti.
So this is a great thing.
Así que eso es algo grandioso.
And when we're in this
Y
space,
cuando estamos en este
we're
espacio
giving
interno,
time to
nos
ourselves.
damos tiempo a nosotros mismos.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No hay nada malo con eso.
There's no law that says you must socialize.
No hay ninguna ley que diga tienes que socializar.
I'm the biggest hermit on earth.
Yo soy la ermitaña más grande de la tierra.
I live in a shed with a dog.
Vivo en un galpón con un perro.
That's it.
And the horses.
And I have all my animals.
Y tengo todos mis animales alrededor.
And I visit my teachers.
Y voy de visita a mis maestros.
But I don't live, they aren't on top of
Pero
me.
ellos no están encima mío.
And I enjoy.
Y estoy disfrutando.
I enjoy that.
Yo disfruto.
And I go out and
Y
socialize.
salgo,
or
socializo,
travel.
o viajo.
And it's great.
Y buenísimo.
But I enjoy to be by
Pero
myself.
disfruto estar sola.
And there's nothing wrong with
No
that.
hay nada malo con eso.
Just enjoy it.
Solo disfrútalo.
Stop putting ideas.
Deja de poner ideas.
Oh, I need to be like this.
Ah, tendría
Oh, I
que
need to
ser
be
así,
like
o
that.
tendría que ser así,
Oh, I need to be like
o
that.
tendría que ser así.
You know, how much time do we waste with big groups of people
¿Cuánto tiempo perdemos con grandes grupos de gente
and we're not enjoying ourselves?
sin disfrutarnos?
We're just there under obligation
Solo estamos ahí por obligación.
and we wonder why we're there.
Y nos preguntamos por qué estoy acá.
Once you've got
Una
consciousness,
vez que tienes conciencia,
you can choose.
puedes elegir.
Oh, I want to be around people that are focused on
Quiero estar
consciousness.
alrededor de gente enfocada en la conciencia.
I want to be around positive
Quiero
people.
estar alrededor de gente
I want to be around
positiva.
people that are growing,
Quiero estar con gente que está
that
creciendo,
are sustainable,
que son sostenibles,
that are doing something
que están
positive in their
haciendo algo
lives,
positivo en su vida,
that are talking about creative things.
que hablan de cosas creativas.
I choose to be around these sort of people.
Elijo estar alrededor de estas
And I
personas.
enjoy to be around those
Y
people.
disfruto estar con esa
But I
gente,
choose to do it.
pero yo elijo hacerlo.
You choose.
Eliges tú.
And that's perfect.
Y es perfecto.
You're not doing it through obligation.
No lo haces por obligación.
Hola, Isha.
Hi, Isha.
Esta mañana me
This
conecté
morning
con
I connected
la
with
relación con mi hermana.
a relationship with my sister.
Está rota.
That is broken.
Still.
Aún está rota.
Sí, aún.
Yes, still.
Annie's too.
La de Annie también. No te preocupes. La mía también. No tengo hermana.
It's pretty broken.
Estaba bastante roto, ¿no?
Y bueno, me conecté con que si
And I connected
pasa algo,
that if
yo ya dejé la relación rota y no la
something
puedo sanar,
happens to her and I left the relationship broken and I didn't fix and get close, she lives in Dublin.
me pidió que no quería saber nada de mí.
And she asked me, she didn't want to know nothing about me.
Yo intenté buscarla después
And
de
I
los
tried
6
to
meses,
look for her after 6 months and she doesn't want. She doesn't want with me.
que me duele,
And
que me
hurts
tocó,
me,
me
I got
tocó.
concerned, touched me.
Después de hablar de esto.
And you talk about that.
You've got to let go.
Tú tienes que soltar.
You know, you did your process.
Tú hiciste tu proceso.
And you feel open
Y te sientes
and
abierta
loving.
y amorosa.
And everything's chévere,
Y todo
right?
es chévere,
But
buenísimo.
your
Pero
sister's like this.
tu hermana está así.
She's off with the little leprechauns in Ireland having a good
En
time.
Irlanda con los leprechauns pasándola bien.
And she's happy there. And she doesn't want you sticking your nose in her business.
No quiere que le metas la nariz.
I
en
didn't
su
do a very
asunto.
good job with that, Mary, sorry.
No, que no lo hice bien, Mary, disculpa el acento que no
So
me
then you
salió.
have to let go. You've done everything.
Tú ya has hecho
You've
todo.
walked towards her.
Caminaste hacia ella.
You've tried to communicate with
Trataste
her.
de comunicarte con ella.
You're open to be loving with her.
Abierta a ser amorosa con
And she
ella.
says no.
Y ella dice no.
And you have to respect
Y
that.
tienes que respetarlo.
But stop
Pero
suffering.
deja de sufrirlo.
Is it the only thing you can find to suffer about?
Es la única cosa que puedes encontrar para sufrir.
Hmm? Yeah. Stop suffering.
Deja de sufrir.
And you know what?
Y sabes
You
que
think you did something
tú
wrong.
piensas que tú hiciste algo
It's
mal.
mi culpa.
Es my fault.
My fault.
Mi culpa.
Is it your fault?
¿Es acaso tu culpa?
No. It just is.
Solo es así.
So let go.
Así que suelta.
She'll come around.
Ella se va a acercar.
They always do.
Siempre se acerca.
If you're on top of them, no.
Pero si estás encima de ellos, no.
If your energy's on top
Si
of
tu
her,
energía está encima de ella, no.
no.
No, no.
Let go.
Suelta.
Love doesn't have to look a certain
El
way.
amor no necesita verse de una determinada manera.
Sometimes love allows.
A veces el amor permite,
It just lets go.
solo suelta.
Okay. You want your space? It's
¿Quieres tu
fine.
espacio? Está bien conmigo. Isha, te voy a
Did
hacer
you
una
you
pregunta.
wrote down your
No me digas
question?
que escribiste la pregunta.
No, es una pregunta que me pidieron que te hiciera.
It's a question I was asking. It's a facilitator is not here, and she asked me to ask you this. So I have her here.
Dice, siempre estuve corriendo hacia algo.
I always was running towards something. Last year I finished
Mis 6 meses.
my 6
Y
months,
siento que puedo
and I
estabilizar
feel I can stabilize
mi enorme conciencia.
my huge consciousness.
Y estoy muy feliz por
And I'm
eso.
super happy for that.
Pero sucede últimamente
But
que
lately
vengo
happens that I come
como suspendida en el aire,
like on the air, hanging on the air.
todo muy lineal,
Everything very lineal,
no siempre como algo negativo ni positivo,
not as negative or positive.
pero tal vez me aburra esa
But
sensación
maybe that sensation gets boring.
desconocida para mí y me genera incertidumbre.
That is unknown, and I feel uncertainty.
Y que si le puedes hablar sobre eso.
If you can talk about that.
Okay, so we get used to something.
Nos acostumbramos a algo.
Firstly, she did the 6 months.
Dinero. Hizo los 6 meses.
And she stabilized
Y
consciousness.
está bien, está estabilizando la
Her
conciencia.
big
Su
consciousness.
gran
I'm
conciencia.
very happy to hear about your
Estoy
big
súper
consciousness.
contenta de escuchar de tu gran
It's a
conciencia.
good thing.
Es algo muy bueno.
But
Pero
that process
ese proceso
is like this.
es como esto.
It's like a roller coaster,
Es
no?
como una montaña rusa.
And it's full of emotion
Y está lleno de
and
emociones. Y de
energy
energía.
and
Y de
change,
cambio.
and everything's very
y todo
fast.
es muy rápido.
And then
Y después
we stabilize,
estabilizamos.
and everything's
Y
fine.
ahí todo está bien.
But there's an aspect of the
Pero hay
victim
un aspecto de la víctima
that actually likes this.
que le gusta ese movimiento.
At least you know what's happening.
Por lo menos sabes qué está sucediendo.
But when you start to flatline,
Pero cuando empiezas en esa línea que es como una plató más chato,
it's like, what's
es
happening?
como, ¿qué sucede aquí?
Why am I like this?
¿Por qué estoy así?
I don't feel
No
anything.
siento nada de
I don't
nada.
feel good.
No siento ni
I don't
bien.
feel bad.
No siento
I
mal.
don't feel.
No siento.
I'm bored
Estoy aburrida.
because I like to grow,
Porque me gusta crecer.
or I like to have
O
movement.
me gusta tener movimiento.
And that's another
Y
moment
ese es otro momento
where you have to
en
surrender.
el que te tienes que rendir, que entregar.
And this too will
Y eso
change.
también cambiará.
You know, sometimes the ocean's like
A
that.
veces el mar está así, sin
It's just
movimiento.
flat.
Simplemente está quieto.
It's like that.
Es así.
Enjoy it.
A disfrutarlo.
Be there.
Estate ahí presente.
There doesn't always have to be
Porque no
movement.
siempre necesita estar en movimiento.
It's perfect.
Perfecto.
And surrender.
Y a rendirse,
Then you
entregarse
go
a
to the
eso.
next level.
Y después saltarás al próximo nivel.
I remember when I first woke up,
Me acuerdo cuando recién desperté.
I didn't have an emotion
No tuve una emoción
for nearly 6 months.
por casi 6 meses.
Nothing.
Nada.
Just this energy.
Estaba esta energía nomás.
No human emotion.
Sin emoción humana.
I thought, oh, is this the end of my human emotion?
Este es el final de la emoción humana.
And now I
casi.
have emotions.
Y ahora sí tengo emociones.
But it was like strange,
Pero
no?
fue raro en ese momento.
It was great,
Fue fantástico.
but it was strange.
Pero era raro.
Hola. A year and 8 months ago, my husband left me with another woman after 45 years of marriage. First, I felt super lonely. Afterwards, I did the 6 months. And now, when I arrive after, I keep on continue lonely, looking for someone. And when I stop looking for, I met a guy in a club, an elders club. Ooh. And it was a connection. He liked me. Oh, I like him. We are right into each other. Oh. So everything is so nice. My question is, do you think it's possible at this age, in the downs of life, or it's just to fill up the loneliness?
Go, honey.
No, dale con todo.
Dally, dally, dally. You do everything you've ever wanted to do.
Haz todo lo que siempre quisiste hacer y nunca hiciste.
And don't think,
Ni siquiera pienses.
after 45 years,
Después de 45 años con el otro,
you
te
deserve
lo
it.
mereces completo.
My question is about, I'm very volatile and I'm always have been fighting to land. And I cannot do it. I continue having problems in the practical life with people. Just because suddenly I stop listening to people, or I leave the bread in the toaster, and I'm driving and then I stop, I don't know where I'm going. So the system can help me? Do you think to land, to be grounded?
You know, in my whole life,
Yo en toda mi vida,
I've never met anyone
yo nunca conocí a nadie
that flew
que volara
like Annie.
como Annie.
Ella would go so far away from her body,
Ella se iba tan lejos de su cuerpo
she would be clinically dead.
que podía estar clínicamente muerta.
You know, she was gone.
Se había ido.
And all it takes is
Y
focus.
todo lo que lleva es foco.
All it takes is
Todo lo que
focus.
lleva es
And that desire
y el deseo.
to be here
El
now.
deseo de estar aquí y ahora.
And you'll start to enjoy being
Y
here
vas a
now.
empezar a disfrutar el estar aquí y ahora.
But somewhere
Pero en algún
you
lugar
learned this mechanism of
has
leaving.
aprendido este mecanismo de desconectarte.
It's usually children that have violent backgrounds
Normalmente
or
son los niños que han tenido violencia en el
something
lugar.
transpired.
Algo sucedió por ahí.
They have the capacity to leave.
Entonces desarrollan capacidad de
And they
irse.
sit here like,
Entonces se quedan acá por afuera.
and it's just about
Se
insisting.
trata de seguir insistiendo.
You know, use unity,
Utiliza unidad,
but don't come up.
pero sin subir.
Just stay there.
Te quedas ahí en la base de la columna.
Always anchor.
Siempre anclada.
After every facet,
Después de cada
anchor in the
faceta,
base of the
te
coccyx.
anclas en la base de la columna.
Always coming down, down,
Siempre
down.
volviendo ahí.
And you'll start to see the signs.
Vas a empezar a ver las señales.
Because there's physical signs.
Porque hay señales físicas.
You'll feel something in your eye.
Vas a sentir
Or in
algo
your
en los
neck.
ojos, o en el
There will
cuello,
be
o en-
something
Habrá algo
that you can start to identify.
que puedes empezar a identificar.
I'm leaving.
Hoy me estoy desconectando, me
I've got to
estoy
come here.
yendo. Tengo que volver.
Yeah, the toaster's burning.
Por ejemplo, la tostada está quemándose.
You know, that's usually a good
Es una
indication.
buena indicación.
Yeah. Just keep coming back.
Sigue volviendo.
Keep coming back.
Sigue volviendo.
But with rigidity, no?
Pero así con intensidad, ¿no?
Be severe with
Sé
it.
severa
Here,
con eso.
here,
Aquí,
here,
aquí,
here,
aquí,
here,
aquí,
all the
aquí,
time.
todo el tiempo.
Using the facets
Utilizando las facetas.
until you stay.
Hasta que te quedes.
You know, it's like breaking a very old habit.
Es como romper un hábito muy, muy, muy viejo.
You have to insist.
Y tienes que insistir mucho.
Hmm?
Hola.
Es una pregunta práctica.
It's a practical thing, question of
Situaciones que me pasan.
situations that happen in my business.
Antes,
Before,
como movía el estrés,
as I used to move the stress,
ya me molesta,
I say, I know it's me, such and such. No, all the steps.
pero después me volví
But
más
after with
inocente,
say, I became more innocent and blah blah.
espontáneo.
Spontaneous.
Y hay veces,
And
o
sometimes
sea, yo siempre me concentro en empoderarle a ellos.
I always focus in empower them, no?
Les tengo que levantar.
I have to pull them up, not down.
Pero hay veces,
But
por
sometimes,
cosas del momento como que me
things
enojo,
of the moment I get angry.
les-
And
o sea, como que le voy con todo.
I go with everything.
Y tengo la duda de
And
si
I have the
eso
doubt if that
sirve o si
serves,
estoy dando mi estrés,
or if I'm throwing my stress and I should to move it before, no, and or tell them in a very good way.
And be careful you don't push your stress onto them.
Y ojo de no proyectar el
That's the
estrés,
worst.
¿no? Porque eso es lo
You
peor.
cannot go to work
No puedes ir tú a trabajar
and just take it out on your
y
workers.
simplemente desquitarte en tus trabajadores.
You have to be
¿no?
mature.
Tú tienes que ser maduro con eso.
Yeah, if it's nothing to do with them,
Si no tiene nada que ver con ellos,
don't go and project all over
no
them.
les proyectes a ellos.
That's violence
Porque eso es
and it's
violencia.
taking advantage of your
Y
power.
también es aprovecharse de tu lugar sobre ellos, ¿no?
You know, and that's not fair.
Eso no es justo.
Don't ever do
Jamás,
that.
jamás hagas eso.
Ever. And if you
Jamás.
do,
Y si lo haces,
you apologize.
vas a pedir disculpas.
In front of
después,
everyone.
En frente de todos. No, en serio.
No, really.
En serio, en serio.
Yeah.
Claro, esa es mi pregunta.
That's my question.
Esa era mi pregunta y mi miedo. a veces.
My fear sometimes of not throwing on them.
Oh, well, you know.
Y bueno, sabes,
You know.
tú
You're
sabes.
naturally very sweet,
Naturalmente eres muy dulce,
I imagine.
imagino.
With that hair, with the Jesus hair.
Con el look de Jesús. Sí.
Yeah, yeah, come on.
Vale.
Hace unos Darshan
A few darshans ago,
mencionaste que,
you mentioned
que las facetas no eran
that the facets weren't,
una
they weren't a mantra,
mantra.
a mantra.
Y quería profundizar.
And I want to, for you to go deeper in that because
Yo pensaba que eran
I was wrong. I thought they were mantras.
Mantras are protect the mind.
El mantra lo que hace es proteger a la mente.
And it's like this.
Es como
Tum,
esto.
tum, tum, tum,
Uno
tum,
sobre otro,
tum,
lo van
tum,
martillando,
tum,
pensando.
tum, tum, tum. It doesn't allow the thought.
Y no permite otro pensamiento.
You are using the mantra to stop the thoughts.
Los mantras se usan para parar los pensamientos.
This is different.
Las facetas son diferentes.
You think the
Tú
facet,
piensas la faceta,
you connect with consciousness.
te conectas con la conciencia.
You leave a space,
Dejas un espacio
you come back
y
to the
vuelves
facet.
a la faceta.
There's thoughts,
Pasan pensamientos
that's good.
y está bueno.
The thoughts are good.
Los pensamientos son buenos
They're the
también,
stress
porque
leaving.
son el estrés que se está yendo.
There's no thoughts,
Si no hay pensamiento,
that's good too.
también es bueno.
But you leave the space
Pero dejas siempre un espacio
and
entre
you have the
faceta y otra.
focus of the energetic point.
Y vas a tener el foco del punto energético de la
It's
atención.
not the same as doing a
No es
mantra.
igual que hacer un mantra.
You know, when you're doing a
Cuando
mantra,
uno hace un mantra,
like transcendental
por
meditation, for
ejemplo,
example,
meditación trascendental,
I did that.
yo hacía eso.
It's, I see.
Y es así, pum, 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 pum. Lo pensás constantemente.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Y esto no es así.
If you see you're doing them like mantras, stop.
Si te ves pensándolo como mantra, ahí te parás. Dejas un espacio.
Hola Isha, hola Ani. Tengo mucho resentimiento con mi hermano y lo he podido ver ahora. Expresando, he descubierto eso y quisiera que me hables cómo poder soltar eso, romper ese resentimiento tan grande.
Well, you have to feel.
Tienes que sentir.
Obviously something's happened.
Obviamente algo sucedió.
And you felt hurt.
Te sentiste lastimada.
Or betrayed.
O traicionada.
I don't know what the story is.
No conozco la historia.
But you have to go to that root.
Pero tú tienes que meterte en esa raíz.
And you have to feel
Y
everything.
sentir todo lo que esté
And let it go.
y dejarlo ir.
You know, there's always some sibling within the family that does
Hay
something.
siempre uno de los hermanos en la familia que te hizo algo.
There's always some problem.
Siempre hay un problema.
These things come from there.
Estas cosas vienen de aquel entonces.
We create circles from there.
Creamos surcos desde allí.
We create our human relationships from our childhood.
Creamos nuestras relaciones humanas desde la infancia.
You know, and this is what marks us.
Y esto es lo que nos marca.
And so you have to allow it to go.
Así que tienes que permitir que eso pueda irse.
And then the resentment
Y
leaves.
después se va a ir el resentimiento.
And be clear about it.
Y estate clara con eso.
If you see it,
Si tú lo ves
you
actuar
have
eso,
to heal it.
tienes que sanarlo.
You have to heal it.
Tienes que sanarlo.
You know, lots of people just say, oh, I love my brother.
Muchas personas dicen, yo amo a mi hermano.
Because we're the same blood.
Porque somos la misma sangre.
But really you want to kill him.
Pero de verdad lo quieres matar.
And you need to go in and let that go.
Y tienes que conectarte, ir hacia adentro y dejar ir eso.
Yeah? You have to heal the family.
Hay que sanar a la familia.
Because that's where all the root stresses begin.
Porque es de ahí donde comenzaron todos los estrés de raíz.
That's where the innocence leaves.
Y es ahí cuando se fue la inocencia.
That's where all the dramas, the
Ahí cuando todos los dramas y la
competitions,
competencia,
the
las
preferences
preferencias
start.
comenzaron.
Because there's always sibling rivalry.
Porque siempre hay una rivalidad entre hermanos.
Even if there's a lot of love,
Que haya un montón de amor,
there's always that.
siempre está eso.
Un poco la respondiste recién cuando hablabas de los pensamientos y el mantra.
You just responded when you were talking about the thoughts and the mantra. My question is easy. When I'm unifying, I want to know how to distinguish thoughts that I'm just observing from the thoughts that become like stress and don't allow me to do focus in unification. That is what I want.
Of the thoughts,
El movimiento de los pensamientos,
especially in this moment for you,
especialmente en este momento tuyo,
are very important.
son súper importantes.
You don't need to watch them.
No necesitas seguir a mirarlos.
They're just the stress leaving.
Son solo el estrés que se está yendo de
If
vos.
something's meant to be understood,
Si algo se supone que lo tenés que entender,
it's very clear.
va a ser
It
súper
comes
claro
like this,
y te va a parecer así.
and you'll have a
Y
realization.
te vas a dar cuenta de alguna realización.
But apart from that,
Pero al margen de eso,
it's all just stress
solo
moving.
estrés que se está moviendo.
So don't even take any
Así
notice.
que ni te preocupes de eso. I have to express that?
No.
No.
If you feel an emotion, yes.
Si viene con la carga de una emoción, sí.
Aisha,
Estoy en un punto donde tengo que ver.
I'm in a point where I have to see what I'm going to do with my life because I just finished university. Habla un poquito más despacio porque no escuché nada. She's in a point where she needs to know what to do with her life because she just finished university.
Ah. What did you study? Agronomy?
¿Qué estudias?
Zootecnia.
Zootecnia for campo animals.
Y tengo un negocio
And I have a business that flowed great, not related
con lo que a mí me gusta.
with what I like.
What is the
¿Y el negocio qué es?
Es alquiler de muebles para eventos.
Is rent
artículos para
furniture
eventos.
and things for events. Fantástico.
Pero ahora es
And
como-
now,
creo que
yes, I think
la manera más fácil es
the
siempre
the
en mi
easier
campo
way is
donde
in my campo where
me
my
está
land,
costando un poco entrar
where it's a little
porque
bit hard to get in
no, es
because
muy poco ecoambiental.
my mom is not environmental respectful.
Y eso no, como que no sé qué voy a hacer. No sé
So
si
I don't know what I'm going to
podría decir algo para
do.
aclarar
Can you
mi
tell me
proceso.
something to get clear?
Claro.
You know, farmers
Los granjeros, la gente del campo,
don't like risks.
no les gusta tomar
So they
riesgos.
get their pesticides,
Así que tienen los pesticidas.
and they blast everything,
Y llenan todo de eso.
and it all goes into the river
Y todo va a los ríos.
because they've been doing it for years.
Porque llevan años haciéndolo.
They've been doing it for years,
Lo hicieron por años.
their parents were doing it
Los
for
padres lo
years,
hicieron por años.
and it's had super results,
Y han
no?
tenido buenos resultados.
And now the little kids
Y ahora que llegan los jóvenes,
that didn't pay for their own
que
university
tampoco pagaron su universidad, ellos
come up and say,
pero vienen y les dicen,
by the way,
quería explicarte
you can't do that
que no
anymore.
puedes hacer eso más.
And they know
Y ellos saben
that if they don't do
que
that,
si no hacen eso,
they're going to have a campo full of yuyus.
van a tener un campo lleno de yuyos.
And they don't want that.
Y no quieren campo lleno de
So
yuyos.
they have lots of ideas.
Entonces tienen muchas ideas.
So you have to come up with highly intelligent economic solutions.
Entonces vas a tener que desarrollar soluciones muy efectivas en lo financiero,
Okay? That bring benefits
que le traiga beneficios
on both
a
sides.
ambos lados.
So the transition won't be immediate,
Va a ser inmediata la transición,
but you start to implement that.
pero vas a empezar de a poco a implementar eso.
And that's a change.
Y eso es un cambio.
But don't be fighting with
Pero no
her.
estés peleando con ella.
You have cattle, yes?
Tienes ganado, ¿verdad? No.
What do you have now?
Soja.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
Ella.
Well, you have to start implementing this.
Vas a tener que empezar a implementar eso.
You have lots of good ideas, yeah?
Tienes muchas buenas ideas.
No, varias.
Sí.
And
sí,
she's afraid.
y ella está asustada
And she wants control.
y quiere tener el control.
So you have to come to a mutual
Así que
understanding.
vas a tener que llegar a un entendimiento mutuo.
And you can keep running your
Y
business,
puedes seguir con tu propio negocio
the muebles.
de muebles.
You can put someone else to manage
Y
it.
puedes poner a alguien más que lo maneje.
There's no reason to give up
O sea,
anything.
no hay ninguna razón para que dejes ninguna de las cosas que haces.
But tread gently in the changes
Pero la transición en el cambio, sé gentil
and be clear
y estate claro.
and show her proof,
Y mostrarle
but in a
pruebas,
mature
pero
way.
de una manera madura.
And remind
Y
her
recuérdale
she paid to send you to that
que ella pagó
university.
para que estudiaras eso.
It cost you a lot of
Y
money.
le costó un montón de
Don't you
dinero.
want to hear what I have to
¿No quieres
say?
escuchar lo que tengo para decir hoy?
But be open,
Pero estate abierta.
because you're just mirroring that,
Porque
no?
estás reflejando eso.
You're just mirroring that.
Simplemente reflejando eso.
Yeah, I understand.
Entiendo, entiendo.
Hi.
Hola.
I feel really stressed
Me siento muy estresada.
when I try to plan something for the future
Intento planear algo para el futuro
and stay in the present moment.
y a la vez mantener en el momento presente.
But the future needs some degree of being planned.
Necesita un grado de planeamiento.
And I understand
Yo entiendo
the idea of not having expectations from the plan.
tener expectativas del plan,
But I still feel very stressed.
pero igual me siento muy estresada.
I feel it.
Me siento así.
Firstly, you shouldn't be stressed
Primero, no tendrías que estar estresada
because you're being anxious.
porque estás siendo ansiosa.
So you're not planning the future.
Entonces, en realidad, no estás planeando el futuro,
You're worrying about the
sino que te
future.
estás preocupando por el futuro.
And this is the problem.
Y ese es el problema.
I have a goal,
Yo tengo un objetivo,
an idea,
una idea,
something I want to put into action.
algo que quiero poner en acción.
In this moment,
En este momento,
I'm creating a plan.
estoy creando un plan.
Perfect.
Perfecto.
I'm in the moment,
Estoy en el momento.
creating a plan
Creando un plan.
that will unfold
Y eso se va a ir
over a
desarrollando
period of time.
a través de un periodo de tiempo.
I'm still in the moment.
Sigo estando en el momento.
When I start worrying,
Pero cuando me empiezo a preocupar,
I'm out of the moment
estoy fuera del
because
momento.
I've already projected failure onto my project.
Porque yo ya he proyectado fracaso en mi proyecto entonces.
If you want something to unfold
Si
well,
tú quieres que algo se desenvuelva bien,
you make a decision
tomas una decisión
and you move into
y
action.
te pones en acción.
In this
En
moment,
este momento,
in this
en
moment,
este momento,
in this
en
moment,
este momento.
until you get to that moment
Hasta que llegues a ese momento
where
en que
you attain the goal.
obtienes ese objetivo.
But in each
Pero
moment,
en cada momento
you have to be open
tienes que estar abierta,
to flow,
fluir,
to change,
cambiar,
to see what's coming.
ver aquello que viene.
So in each
Así que en
moment,
cada momento
you're without stress.
estás sin estrés.
If you're climbing a mountain,
Si estás escalando una montaña,
you can't be worrying about getting to the top.
no puedes estar preocupándote de llegar a la cima.
You have to worry about where you're putting your
Tienes
foot.
que estar preocupándote de dónde pones tu pie.
Where am I stepping?
Pisadas, ¿dónde son mis pisadas?
You've got to stop
Tienes que parar
and look at the view.
y mirar el paisaje.
You have to enjoy
Tienes
each
que
step.
estar disfrutando cada paso.
And then you get to the top of the
Y
mountain
después vas a llegar a la cima de la montaña.
safely,
muy segura.
And you enjoyed the walk.
Y has disfrutado esa caminata.
But if all you're doing is, oh, I've got to get to the top of the mountain, I've got to get to the top of the mountain, I've got to get to the top of the mountain, will you get there? You'll get there stressed, exhausted. If it's a big mountain, without oxygen, you know, do you see the difference? You have control over that. This is what I'm choosing in this moment. You know, I run endurance. It's 160 kilometers in 8 hours. And I have to be present in every step my horse makes. I'm galloping. And there's rocks, and there's holes, and there's mountains, and there's grass, and there's idiots in cars, and water. There's a million things happening. And I go out to win. I'm not going out there for fun. I'm going to win the bloody thing. That's it. So, that's my focus. But my higher focus is each moment. Looking after my horse, getting the water, make sure I'm pacing her well. I don't want to break her. I don't want her to fall. So the truth is, the winning isn't my highest focus. Each moment's my highest focus. Because my horse means more to me than winning anything. So you have to be like that for you. What am I doing in this moment? You can want to win. You can have the goal. But there's something much more important. And that's each moment. What you're giving, if you're in integrity, if it's unfolding perfectly, if you're enjoying yourself, this is what's important. And sometimes you'll win. Sometimes someone else will win. Sometimes you'll succeed in that goal. But make each step a success as well. Do you see the difference? You know, life isn't a series of goals. Life is a learning experience to be enjoyed and to give. Yeah? Okay, listo.